deserialization was. Everyone has reached, still online? Okay, right. So let us continue. Now, what is the deserialization? Now, if somebody is giving you XML string, how to parse the XML string? When somebody is giving an XML string, how to parse the XML string and read the data from the XML string, which we are calling as deserialization. Now, when I want to transfer the data, I converted the XML DOM document object in the form of string and I have transferred. When you receive the data in the form of string, I want to deserialize it, take the data from the XML string. Now, what I was supposed to do first, if it is a JSON, how did you create? If it is a JSON, what is the first step that you have done? You have created a JSON parser, right? You have created a JSON parser. Similarly, let us take the example from XML. You have taken system.json parser ap equal to json.. Right? Similarly, here also in XML, what we are going to do, the same story we are going to repeat here. DOM dot document. Then whatever the XML string you are giving, public I'm going to say doc dot load XML string. Whatever the XML string you are giving, we are loading it. Like JSON dot create parser JSON string. In the XML, doc dot load XML string. Doc dot load XML string. Once you get this, I was supposed to parse it. There, what I used to do in JSON, while jp dot next token not equal to, because there was given like a token. But in the XML, we got a root, child, subchild, like this we got. So I was supposed to get a root element. If I can get the root element, I know how to get the child elements. First, get the root element. How do you get the root element? DOM dot XML node root equal to doc dot get. Now, first load the XML string which you want to parse. Then from that, get the root element. Once you got the root element, we know how to get the child. Now, root element may have one child or a group of child. So, how do you do? XML node child is equal to root dot get child elements. Get the root element, get the child element. Every child will have text. Every child will have text and value. So, what are these? Look at the two methods what we have. Get value, get value, get text, get text, get name, name of the element and value of the element. Get name, get text. Let us do this structure. I was giving public string parse. I was taking for DOM dot XML node then I'm giving parse data equal to plus c dot get c dot parse data plus value c dot. So we are taking the name of the node, value of the node, name of the node, value of the node. Parse data equal to root dot. Now what I was trying to do, get the root element. Once we got the root element, get the name of the root element, root dot get name, root dot get name. Get the root element, root dot get name. Once you got the get name, what we are doing, boss? Then I have taken a child elements. Take one by one child element. C dot get name, name of the element. Then what we have here? Get text. When you say get text, value of the element, name of the element, value of the element, name of the element, value of the element. Get the root, get the child, get the root, get the child, get the root, get the child. From the child, name of the element, value of the element. So let us go to the VF page. So I was giving input so in the panel grid, what we can have? So input text area, value equal to q, columns equal to apex, action equal to and then I have taken input so let me create this because I was trying to parse it. It should not be in a constructor, it should be in because I was planning to take the data from VF page. From VF page, you are going to give one string. So let us go to the right. I was giving some data like this. So go back to the data. I want to give the input size. I can give too large. So this is how we got it. Now let us get back to the story. I was giving a name. So I was giving some XML string here. When I give the XML string, convert. So what was that? Failed to parse. Now whatever the data I am trying to parse it, I will try to display in the next input text box. Parse it. Now the bug was here. What was the bug here? ID equal to, I told re-render. Again I was supposed to type again, because I used a re-render button there. Then I had so this is how we got it. So if I want them to be in the next line, what you can do, instead of BR, if you give a /n, probably you'll get the data in the next line. We want to break it and show it in the next line. So we are trying to parse the data. We are trying to parse the data. This is how we are able to get it. Right. So what I'm doing, if somebody give an XML string, how to read the data, parse it the way you want. So I took the XML, I took the name of the node. Name of the node is last name, value is Myla. Name of the node is first name, value is Satish. So how did you do that? A simple logic. Get whatever the file you want to upload, whatever the XML file we received, put that XML file as a doc.load. Once you got the load, then what I am trying to do, get the root element. Once you got the root element, Okay, get the corresponding chain elements, then parse it. I hope you are good with this, because a template, you know, in which format we are going to get the response, we know. In which format we are going to get a response, we know. So we are going to take the help of get root element, get chain element, then use it. Now what I'm doing, C dot, what I'm using, C dot get name, C dot get text. When I say C dot get name, name of the element, C dot get text, value of the element. I hope you are good. Okay. Now I have a small issue here. This data I was giving in the form of text, I was parsing. Somebody gave me Excel file. Let us take a website, e-commerce websites. In the e-commerce website, how the products data will be kept? They'll get a data in the XML format. They'll give the XML format, XML file. They'll upload the XML file. Automatically, list of products will be displayed in the e-commerce websites. Now, like that, I am also getting one XML file. I am also getting what? One XML file. They are giving a file. Now, I want to convert the data in the file into records in the Salesforce. Somebody is giving me data in the form of XML file. Take the data from the file, insert the data into database. That is my requirement. Here I typed a string, but what I was saying, somebody is giving you the data in the form of XML file, a document they are giving. So I need to read the data in the document and create the records what I need. So this is my requirement. Right. Let us see how to achieve it. Template we need to see. Based on the template, we have to parse it. Otherwise, you can make a generic program. We can also make a generic program. Or else, you know what type of output you are getting. According to the output, we need to parse the data. Okay. Now, my requirement was, let me give you the requirement. I'm getting some data. This is a file. Like this, they are sending some thousands of files, thousands of records in the file. Okay. So I'm not typing thousands of records here, but this is a concept. Okay. Now, this is the file what I received. Accounts, name. This is what I received. Now, what I was supposed to do, I will upload this file into the VF page, then convert the data in the file into the account records and insert the data. This was my requirement. So, first of all, let us create a quick example here. First of all, how to capture the file. If you are trying to upload any documents or PDFs or any Word documents, what is the format of data we are going to take? What is the format of data type? Blob. If you want to take any data which is larger size, then we go for blob. A text file or document or PDF, we go for a blob. So what I need here, public. Right. So what I was supposed to do, convert the blob into Can I convert the blob into string? What are the functionalities we have? Tell me. We have a blob class, right? So what we have? ToString. If I give name of the blob dot ToString, we want to convert the blob in the form of string. Blob in the form of string we want. So what is the blob with we have? Dot this convert. Then once I converted, immediately I have to give body equal to null. Why I was giving body equal to null again? Whenever you are trying to take a blob value, we will always try to nullify it. What is the problem? Right? When I click on a button, request will go to Apex server. The request will go to ports.com, perform the logic, and again the page will come back. Whatever the request we made, the data will come back to the view state. From view state, the data will be displayed. Whatever the data we entered in the page, the data still remains in the view state. When I submit a request, go to the server. From the server, the same data will revert back to the view state. Again, what is happening? The size, the blob, whatever the blob is there, the blob data also will be coming to the view state. Now, the view state has 135 KB. That's the old version. The recent version what is 170 KB. In the new version, it is 170 KB. In the new version, what happened? 170 KB. When you are uploading a file, the file is going to the server, and action is performed, and a page is reloaded. When the page is reloaded, whatever the data that is there in the page still remains the same. Whatever the data you entered in the page, okay, the data still remains the same. If any changes are there, that will be applicable. Because I am going to the server, reloading the page. So if the file what you uploaded still remains on the page, then the data will be in view state. That will cause view state exception. That is the reason, generally when you are trying to upload any files, we'll ensure that once the file is captured, immediately we nullify the body, so that we can escape view state exception. So that's the reason I gave body equal to null here. Then what you are supposed to do? Document then doc dot doc dot load XML string. Then I was trying to parse it. How do you parse it? Root element. And I ask you to create an account. Then take shell elements as per my structure. Root dot get shell elements. Then take one by one element. A dot name. Then what I was supposed to do? C dot get attribute. We have the values here. We have a predefined functions here. What are those predefined functions here? Get attribute. There was that. Get attribute will be here. Which is on the top anywhere. Get attribute, key comma, namespace. Namespace is an optional. Namespace is an optional. Okay. Then we are going to get the attribute here. So C dot there is a function here. Just give me 1 minute. Get attribute at index. Get attribute at key. Get attribute. Get attribute value. No, all of them are expecting a namespace, but why require a namespace? I don't have any namespace to define actually. So let us go back. Here we have chalo. Then we try to do get attribute value. Attribute value for name. So we had list of accounts equal to list of account. What was the bug boss? Okay. So come back to the story again. Chalo. Get the attribute. Similarly, A dot industry equal to C dot get attribute. Attribute value. What is the file I have given? I smaller capital. Go back to the file. Check out I capital I gave. Right. This is how we got A dot name, get attribute value, then put them into list of accounts, insert. So get the XML file, get the root element, get the child element, based on the attribute name, get the value, based on the attribute name, get the value, and for every child element we have created one account dot name equal to child element dot get attribute value of name, get attribute value of industry. We got the data. Once we got the data, we are trying to add the account into the list of accounts, insert the accounts. This is the first point. Second point, create a VF page which can take so how do you upload a file? Value equal to in case you want to give a file name, then we had apex put the file, choose the file, submit. What I was trying to do, trying to create a list of account records, go back to the account, check out whether we have created Dell and TCS. This is how we have created the records, right? So what I'm doing, if somebody uploads the XML file, convert that XML file into string, then parsing is same. What is the parsing? Once you got the string, document dot dom.document doc.load string. Only if we get the string, then we can parse it. Whatever the format you have given, convert that format into string format. From string, the parsing technique will be same. Okay. So previously there is a method called get attribute here. Previously there is a method called get attribute. So I found it's missing. Get attribute value, name of the attribute, comma, namespace. Because I have not mentioned any namespace, we are giving it. Right. I hope you are good with this example. Right? VF page. You want a view state. So let me show you that. What was my data here? Choose the file, submit. It's getting, why is it getting that? Because I was reloading the entire page. Now button I gave, I didn't use any re-render here, so let me give. But practicality is we will not reload the page. What we do? Because the entire page is getting reloaded. Load data was loaded freshly. Right. What we are getting here? The reason is when you're using it, the page is really not reloaded. When the page is not reloaded completely, only partial page is loaded, view state is still there. So that's why they told boss you cannot use along with this concept. The reason behind is if you have partially reload, the data still remains in the view state. Right? So there's a reason we always prefer to nullify it. We always try to nullify it. We always try to nullify it. When you try to nullify it, no need of putting. Okay. The input file re-render will not be together in a single element. If you put them together in a single element, there is issue with the view state. Okay. Issue with the view state. Okay. Right, Amma. I hope you are good with these examples. So we are just serializing it and deserializing it. Now, whatever the structure we have seen here, the last 2 sessions or 3 sessions what we have taken, why we have learned this concept for so long time, the JSON and XML, the reason is you use SOAP API or REST API or Streaming API or Lightning Web Components, anything, the response will come in the form of XML or JSON. Now, if you are making any web service, if I want to send any data to third party, either have to choose XML or JSON. If some third party is sending the data to me, I have to receive in the form of JSON or XML. So the communication will happen between two systems only in the form of JSON or XML. JSON or XML. So how to send your data to third party? If third party send you the data, how to deserialize and use it? This is a goal. At the end of the game, when you send a request, they send a data. You should know how to use the data. If you want to know how to use the data, you should find out deserialization of JSON and XML. If somebody is making a request to you, you have to send a data. So if you want to send the data, how you are supposed to send? Again, it is in the form of JSON or XML. There is a reason we started learning with JSON and XML. This is only the reason for learning this JSON and XML. Because it's people to whom you are making a request, they are going to send the response either in the form of JSON or XML. Like I told you already, if you go with the workbench, quickly show an example. Quick example. I'll just show an example to convey the message, how the response is coming. So, just a quick example. I'm writing a query, some query. I was trying to write a web service program from the JavaScript, send a request to the Salesforce, get the data. I was trying to write a web service program from the JavaScript, writing a query, trying to fetch the data. So, alert. They give apex form. No apex form is given here. Right. What was that? And D is missing. Okay. So go back to the structure. So open the console. Like the way you use system.debug for debugging in Apex. Similarly, we use console.log for debugging. Now, let me give alert here some reasons. 1 minute amma. Source connection.js script function bracket close is missing. I'm in a hurry to show the output. I want to wind up before 10:30. Okay, look at this. Now, this is the data what I received. Now I made a request to third party. This is the data what I received. Look at the data what I received. Now what is the format of this data? Now what is the format of this data? It is in the form of JSON. We are running a query. We got the response. Basically it is making a query from JavaScript. If you are making a query from JavaScript, it is a AJAX call. The moment I say it is a AJAX call, it is a HTTP post method. Every Lightning program will run like this only. Every Lightning program you write, it is a AJAX call. So we are going to get the response in the form of JSON. Now, what is the format in which they are sending the response? JSON format. Now you should know how to deserialize it, take the data. Now you should know how to deserialize this, take the data. Let us take another example. I'll try to show another example quickly to understand. Now, search. Now, you are getting the response. Now, whatever the response you are getting here, you are finding the response here, right? Basically, the response will be coming in the form of XML. This response will be coming in the XML. They capture the response, again they are showing it on the Google Maps. But what I am going to get, once you get this data, the response will be coming back in the form of XML. The response will be coming back in the form of XML. So when I make a request here, the response will be coming back in the form of XML. That XML I should know how to deserialize it. Again, if you are going back, if I am going back to the next system, now you have YouTube. Now you are going for a YouTube. I want to search for a particular data. I want to search for my videos. Now when you are searching, what type of response you are getting? Snippet. Some predefined string will be there for snippet. Let me copy it. Part. Then what I want to search? So ask me to log in first. Now you are getting a response. So what are the videos you are getting here? Now what type of response is this? JSON. Salesforce development videos, Apex classes. Salesforce Training videos by Satish, Myla. So you are getting some videos here. Now what is the response you are getting here? SLDS videos by Satish, Myla. They are getting some videos here. Okay. Now what was that? We are getting the response in the form of JSON. If we are communicating with the Google, we are getting the response in the form of JSON. Google Drive, response will come in the form of JSON. Now let us say I want to go with some currency format. Now, when you use any one of these, they're given some API services here. If we use these API services, make a request, right? If you make a request, they are asking for registration. Okay. If you send a request to this with the registration, you're going to get a response. What is the response? Success or failure. Success or failure. Right. So what type of response we are giving? So the people are going to give the response in the form of either JSON or XML. So once you get it, we have to know how to serialize and deserialize it. Because we are receiving the response, we have to deserialize it and use it. How to deserialize the data and use it. That's what we want to know. There's a reason why we have learned for basics of JSON and XML services. How to serialize, how to deserialize. We are interested in converting the data into JSON string or converting the JSON string into your object, or object to XML, XML to corresponding object. I hope you are good with this. Right. So we are done with the scrap work.